morning, it's Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Wednesday the 4th of November. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, slightly bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 13,799, support around at the first major resistance level sitting at 14,297. Going to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high 14,066, which is now a major resistance level on the trend analysis. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Bitcoin back. In the event of breakout, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 14,500 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 14,564. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 13,532 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay well clear of sub 13,500 levels. Second major support level sits at 13,034. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram, supportive of the positive moves late yesterday, and suggestive of further upside through the morning. On the EMA, we're also seeing a slight pull away by the 50 from the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of further upside through the morning. So avoiding a fall through the pivot and moving back through to 14,000 levels should support further upside and a run at the resistance levels on the day. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, slightly bearish start to the morning. Going to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 383.09 to support a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 395.58. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Ethereum to break back through to 390s and break out from yesterday's high 390.35. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Ethereum back. The event of a breakout, got resistance at 400 and the second major resistance level at 402.84 to cap any upside. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 375.83 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should still well clear of the second major support level sitting at 363.34. The 38.2% fib at 367 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing suggestive of a bearish morning ahead. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 narrow the gap on the 100 and the 200, supportive of further upside on the day ahead. So avoiding the pivot and breaking back through to 390s should support a run at the major resistance levels. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, relatively range-bound start to the day. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a fall through that 23.6% fib at 54 and the pivot level at 53.22 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 55.20. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 55 levels, however. So barring a broad-based crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, could see Litecoin test resistance at 57 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 56.37. A fall through the 23.6% fib and the pivot at 53.22 would bring the first major support level at 52.05 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should still well clear of sub 50s. Second major support level sitting at 50.07 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, seeing a widening of the bullish histogram, supportive of the upside this morning and further upside through the latter part of the morning. On the EMAs, we're seeing a marginal narrowing of the 50 on the 100 and the 200, but nothing conclusive. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the 23.6% fib and the pivot at 53.22 to then take a run at 55 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, slightly bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 23.74, support around the first major resistance level sitting at 0.2463. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high. It was at 0.2442. So buying, extended rally on the day, expect the first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, should see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.25 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.2532. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 0.2305 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should still well clear sub 0.22 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.2215. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing suggestive of a bearish morning ahead, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 15 narrow on the 100 and 200, suggestive of further upside through the morning. So avoiding a fall through the pivot, breaking through to 0.2450 levels will then bring resistance levels into play.